Y'all, the falsetto is coming out of Switzerland and it is turning heads. These lyrics from Gjon's Tears are just beautiful. Let the wind brush his hand over my shoulder, the void in my head, not a single place to hide. The dawn is fading. Behind a field of ruins, it's time to grow up. Don't hold yourself back. I see pieces of you behind us, and I see what pain has made of me. This song is meditative. It has a beautiful music video, but the question is, at the end of the Eurovision Grand Final, are you going to be crying tears for Gjon? Should we talk about it? Let's do this! Yes, Switzerland is a major favorite to win the Eurovision Song Contest 2021. Tout l'univers, the whole universe, is built around the idea of construction and destruction. Gjon told us in an interview that we're all trapped in this cycle of life. Life builds you up, life tears you down. It is up to you to survive. This was originally in English. It was conceived as a song called Ground Zero, which referred to the site in New York City where the Twin Towers were, which of course were taken down in a terror attack. There's a lot of deep meaning here, solemnity, death, sadness. In the music video, he faces a choice. He sees himself dying and he has to decide, will I save myself? It's almost existential. The video is touching, speeds by, you don't know if it's a dream, you don't know if it's a flashback, an out-of-body experience. That's all for you to decide. All I know is this. On first listen, I was really into it. I do worry about hitting the falsetto live. That's very risky. If he hits, this could be very powerful, but if he's slightly off, it will really decimate its chances of doing well. Let's start with Suzanne in the United States. What do you think?
Sorry, it's pollen season here in Atlanta. And I have a bit of a cough. It is not COVID. It's just
that throat.
Pollen. Pardon me?
Moisten your throat.
I did moisten my throat. So interesting that you should bring up September 11th and the Twin Towers, Mr. Adams. This is the 20th anniversary of September 11th, 2001. And there will obviously, as the year progresses, be a lot around that. And it would have been very fitting. This is a song, the first time I listened to it, I was absolutely positively enthralled, particularly by the video. It opened up and I thought, what a sweet song. You see this car accident and that alludes to tragedy. And the first thing I thought was, oh my gosh, did someone die? And then all of a sudden, we are like traveling the universe in our spaceship. And I'm like, am I now a spirit who died in the car accident? So I thought the staging was just very interesting. The galaxy comes at him. At one point, he's picking up the baggage. And the song talks about having the courage to love again. And so I related to this song very much the way I related to Victoria's song this year. Similar meaning for me personally. I really love the concept of him picking himself up out of the wreckage and being able to move forward. Taking those life lessons with us. In that baggage, we get to take what we want to take. We get to write the new chapter. We get to write the new book. And I really like the concept of it. Sadly, however, this is one that has not grown on me as I listen to it over and over again. Initially, I was like, wow. And it wasn't so much the staging. I think it was really the sweetness of the song itself, even though I had to read the lyrics. But listening to it again and again, I think I'm losing interest versus gaining. So I certainly hope that there is some magnificent staging for this song.
Before I forget, and I'm curious what Debin thinks, I had a similar feeling that musically I've cooled on it, but when I see the video, I'm back in it. For me, it's become a visual piece as opposed to solely a musical piece. Forgive me, Debin.
Well, I just feel really vacuous actually coming in after Suzanne, because you talk about the 20th anniversary of the World Trade Center, of course, horrible, horrible, horrible tragedy. But now when I look at that music video, I just think Sledgehammer by Rihanna. You know, it's got a lot of Galaxy feel, you know, she's doing a sort of falsetto for Rihanna, which isn't very high. Gjon has a very strong first impact. I didn't like Répondez-moi at all. I thought he was quite arrogant. This I like a lot more. I feel like it's a lot more musical. It has very strong arcade sensibilities. I can see that there's an arcade hand in this. There's that big symphonic swell. But actually, it does require lots and lots of production as well. You know, honey-drenched studio vocal, one thing, live delivery is another. And if we look at the performance he did in Spain, whilst that was good in terms of his live vocals, it was still a far cry from, you know, the smooth, mellifluous delivery that he had in his music video. You know, it is very difficult to sing in that register without having a shrill to it, and he does sound shrilly at times. Also, staging is absolutely key here. He's got a fantastic song, no doubt about it, but it really still needs to hold your attention for 3 minutes. And this would have done really well back in the day of a full orchestra, because it has that symphonic, that build up with the conductor and kind of like high art almost. You know, with the backing track, I'm not so sure. I mean, what are you going to put on the, you know, you can't bring dancers on. You can't, it's fantastic, but it's also very limiting. Like, you really have to think outside the box to come up with it. Who's staging this? Sacha Jean-Baptiste?
Yeah.
Okay, you know, I mean, she does the dance numbers well. This will be a challenge even for her. You know, and it's one thing to take on work because it's work, but it's another thing to be able to deliver that type of work. You know, and I feel that Sacha is super strong for the much more choreographed entries. Yeah, I like this, but I have my reservations as well.
Robin.
Yeah, coming into it, I was very enthusiastic about Tout l'univers the first time I heard it. The thing that sort of led me to cool on it a bit was his live performance on the Spanish television show, which is the only live performance we've seen of it. It was a bit different from, I guess, what he'll be bringing to Eurovision, because he was playing the piano live and there was no other backing track or anything like that. But it just sort of, it didn't quite deliver what I think people were expecting it to deliver. Like, it wasn't a bad performance, but it wasn't like that knockout, oh my god, this is going to win Eurovision. That vibe wasn't there. It's like, he is a bit of an unknown quantity as far as live performances go. Like Devin said, with Sacha Jean-Baptiste choreographing it, I keep thinking that the thing that comes closest to mind is Christian Kostov, which will be, he was a solo male performer with a sort of a moody pop song. So there might be, I mean, that worked really well for Bulgaria that year. We might be seeing a similar type of staging. Yeah, I'm sort of like, I'm enthusiastic about the song, but I'm also quite cautious about it. I sort of think, is it going to be the kind where first rehearsal, it's just going to present itself in quite a different way, different from the studio version? Or is he going to be able to keep that magic of the studio version and the music video? Yeah, I can't wait to see the first rehearsals for this. It's very interesting.
So in our interview, he teased that there were going to be quite a few special effects. He said that he wasn't happy with his live on tape performance because he couldn't use all the lights and effects, which to me suggests like augmented reality or something super high tech. And you kind of get a sense of that in the music video when he's in that MGM Epcot ride, the ET ride going through space. You know what I'm saying? Like there's a magical quality of him traveling and being not being bound to this earth. And in that interview, he also told me, he said, I think our work isn't done even after we die, which suggested something very spiritual. Again, out of body, levitating, but not the Dua Lipa kind of levitating, a spiritual levitation. So that's all very exciting. I think we all have had a similar journey, and then the first time we were like, whoa, and then subsequently we've been like, okay, it's losing its appeal. However, we need to remember back to Netta 2018. We were all hot on it for a long time. Then in Lisbon, the momentum shifted to Eleni, and a lot of people weren't writing Toy off, but it was, definitely receding. So maybe that's happening early for Gjon now, but he can still slay when it comes down to it, because we don't know what he's going to do on stage. SJB is there, the Sasha Jean-Baptiste. That can only be a good thing. She knows Gjon. They were meant to work with each other last time, if I recall. So this is all very promising. Look, it is now time to say whether we think this will go through. We can be brief. He is 16th, so 14th is Finland, 15th in his semi is Latvia, Samantha Tina. Then we have Gjon's Tears, Total Change of Tone, and then we finish with Denmark, Fear og Flamme. Clearly, Switzerland is the tonal shift. You go from loud in Finland and loud in Latvia to soft and contemplative, and then back to dance and fun. He's going to stand out. He's going through. There's no way he's not. Suzanne.
I agree that he's going through. While we have listened to this time and time again and aren't as enthusiastic to pilfer Robin's word, I don't think that the general audience will have heard this as many times as we have. So I do believe it's going through.
Even if he sits on a potty and does his live on tape with a plastic bag over his head, I think there's enough hype here to push this through.
A more scatological.
On the staging to Devin.
We got real scatological real quick. Robin.
He would have to really, really mess up the staging or the performance somehow to not qualify. I think there's also a good chance that he might win his semi. It all depends on how it comes across. But yeah, it definitely seems that it will be one of the big highlights of that semi. And all going well, it can deliver like a transcendent moment.
Transcendent is the word, and now it is time to see if the score can transcend the critiques. You guys, we're going to go around and give our scores out of a 10 along with a quick justification. I will kick this off. My score is a 9. I think the first time you see the music video, it is near perfection. It is so moving. There are so many ways to read the video, the story, the car crash. It is just weirdly uplifting, but also depressing. It's got a very existential quality to it, and it's up to you to put your spin. I think it suggests ambition. I think there's just such gloss and polish, yet it retains the soul. Something we haven't touched upon is the changing production. Last year, I understand why people thought that was pretentious. This year, they've added modernity. There's the changing percussion, the rhythm, the electro, undertones. That all builds so beautifully. Congratulations, Wouter Hardy. And it makes it very 2021. That first impact is amazing, and that's why I think this is still in it, so long as he can nail the vocal and they have decent staging. Suzanne.
I rated this song at a 7.5. I really liked it the first time I heard it, and the staging just drew me in, and the meaning touched my heart.
Before I drop my score, I just want to mention two things. In terms of him as a performer, when I've gone to look at his catalogue of performances, it's hit or miss. But when it's good, it's amazing. At The Voice, where he was competing, he performed Rocket Man, which was like, wow. I was so impressed by that. He was actually singing, late 180 degrees flat on the floor, which is actually very difficult to draw air out of your diaphragm, because he has this really airy, breathy voice which just expands and fills, and it's just so beautiful. In terms of my concerns, generally when people sing in another language, if they're good, it tends to be the one standout. Here we've got two super strong entries in French, and a Maltese song with a French title. There's French coming in, and it's coming in strong this year. And of those three that I've mentioned, Gjon's Tears isn't my numero uno. That said, there is a lot of ambition here, and there's a lot of scope. Our scores were locked by Ernst & Young, courtesy of Robin Gallagher, who compiled the whole thing with her abacus. And as of March 21st, I gave this an 8.5. Do I stand by that score now? I'm not so sure, but I'm confident enough that this is still one of the best songs that we've got this year. And
finally, Robin.
Yeah, I have given this a 9. It's a very enthusiastic 9. I perhaps wouldn't give it that score if I were to rate it today, but yeah, I mean, it's definitely one of the best songs this year, without a doubt. He sort of has all the building blocks for a really good, iconic, memorable performance. So I guess it's just, maybe we have doubts of whether that will actually happen, or he might surprise us and deliver something even better than what we're expecting. Who knows? That's what the magic of Eurovision is all about.
Well, we of course are not the only Wiwibloggs. There are dozens of us all over the world, from Australia to Colombia, via Switzerland, the United States, Kaliningrad. And when we take the overall global average across all of these people, we get... Wow, 8.77.
Wow.
Robin Gallagher in New Zealand, can you confirm? Is this the winner?
Yes, this is the winner of the Wiwi Jury 2021.
Oh, wow.
The lowest score in this for Toulouse was 6.5.
Wow.
And for some, that's really high, and for some songs that was their high score, sort of thing. So, this is a really good result.
Yeah, looking at these numbers, it's 10s and 9s and 8.5s across the board. Switzerland, congratulations. You carry on a beautiful legacy. Past winners include Andre Calais Sanders, Laureen, Duncan Lawrence.
Didn't Anouk win one of ours?
I'm pretty sure Anouk won.
Yeah.
And Casey Smith from Ireland. In any case, that's what we think. What do you think? Is Switzerland your winner for 2021? Do you think it deserved to win the Wiwi Jury? Let us know here on Wiwibloggs.
Don't forget to subscribe and turn on your notifications so you can stay up to date with all our latest videos.
We have got so much going on social media. Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, follow, share. Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, maybe Clubhouse. We are on Spotify and Apple iTunes with our podcasts. And Devin says that we are re-entering the world of Pinterest and Friendster and Monster. Wait, that was a career site. We are reinventing social media.
Drop your tears on our mood board. We're on Pinterest.
Getty,
are.
the mood board is Getty Images.
I should point out that we are not on Craigslist. However, we are uploading the audio of all of these videos to our podcast. So if you want to listen on the go without the distraction of having a screen in front of you, whether you're walking, running, you name it, you can do that. Spotify, iTunes, TuneIn, all of that. And we will see you later. Bye.